Think back to 6 nights ago, senor. You and your man visited my ranchero, and the next morning I found myself poored by almost 200 steers. Mister, do I understand you're accusing me of rustling your cattle? Despite his aggrieved tone, Brocious looked anything but innocent. To the townspeople of Charleston, he and his men were known cattle rustlers. They stole cows in Mexico, trailed them to Arizona, and sold them to ranchers who turned a blind eye to brands from below the border. Everyone, including the townspeople, benefited by the trade. The practice had originally started under the leadership of a rancher outside Charleston known universally as Old Man Clanton. His chief lieutenant was Bill Brocious, and the principal members of the gang were his 2 sons, Ike and Billy, the McLaury brothers, Tom and Frank, and Johnny Ringo. A year ago, when Old Man Clanton had been killed in a raid south of the border, Brocious had assumed leadership of the gang. Don Ortega took his time answering Brocious. He calculated the odds, 6 guns to 5, and found them less than favorable. At length he waved his hand in a dismissive gesture. "Please, senor," he said, "let us not speak harshly of such things. I merely state that my steers were thoughtless enough to follow you across the border." Brocious grunted. "You play hell proving it. I regret to say that is so. The trail was difficult to follow at times, and when we arrived at your ranch, my steers had once again disappeared." "You've been to our place." "Si," Ortega informed him. "We have just come from there. Your cook, I believe his name is Clyde, told us you were taking dinner in town tonight." "Sorry son of a bitch," Brocious said gruffly. "He's gonna be looking for a new job." "Your men are your concern, senor. I am concerned only with the return of my steers." "Goddamn Bill!" Ike Clanton pushed forward, his voice raised to a strident pitch. "Are you going to let this greaser stand up in front of the whole town and make us out to be rustlers?" Johnny Ringo, who appreciated unintended irony, chuckled aloud. Everyone in Charleston, not to mention southern Arizona, was all too aware of their occupation. Brocious gave him a dirty look, then turned back to Ortega. "Senor, it appears to me your cows have got some mighty bad habits. Now just supposing them cows did follow us across the border. Exactly what did you have in mind doing about it?" Brocious paused, swept the town with a broad motion. "I mean, this here's the United States, not Mexico." Ortega nodded agreement. "A point well taken, Senor Brocious. But then, men like ourselves have no use for legal technicalities, is it not so?" When Brocious seemed to ponder the question, the patron decided to elaborate. "Clearly, you can understand that as a man who protects what is his own, I have no choice but to demand payment for my steers. And if I'm not of a mind to see it your way, we are reasonable men, senor. Rather than spill blood, is it not better to choose some less costly way?" Brocious hooted laughter. "God almighty," he said, glancing around at his men. "Boys, here's a man after my own heart, willing to go whole hog and let you call your own tune." The gang watched Brocious closely, waiting for a cue. His moods were mercurial, and they were never certain what his laughter meant. Still grinning, his gaze shifted back to Ortega. "Why don't you and your men climb down off them horses? We'll walk across to the saloon and get ourselves a bottle. Settle this thing like, what was it?